Today's speaker is Dr. Liu Meihui from the Department of Food Science and Technology, who also happens to be a graduate of the pioneer batch of the program. She received numerous food industry awards as a student, and following her first degree, Dr. Liu was awarded the prestigious A-Star Graduate Scholarship to pursue a PhD in molecular biology. So who better than Dr. Liu to tell us more about the FST program and how this discipline can take you further around the world and in different industries. So Dr. Liu, please.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. I apparently in here we can remove our mask when we stand at the podium. So that's why I'm removing my mask. Okay. Hi, welcome. Please take a seat. Hopefully you guys have lunch already, because I'll be talking about food. So, but in this case, we are trying to talk about food in the context of preparing our students to become professionals, okay, for the future of food and health. A quick introduction, so for the audience that just walked in. So I'm Dr. Liu Meihui here. I am an Assistant Dean of Science in terms of student life and curriculum. And at the same time, I'm also a Senior Lecturer at the Food Science and Technology program. Okay, this talk actually has been recorded, is being recorded, right? Okay, it's not recording. I was just informed that it was being recorded. Okay, but wait. Let me. How come the light is? Yeah. We just renovated this LT, and then we have very atas light switches that a very light touch will change the whole mood. Yeah, I know, no, that's why. But if I press off now, it's the whole place off, right? Yeah. Too much, very, very atas. Okay. So coming back to this talk. This talk, the content is actually also available on our websites and also on Facebook, the different platforms, because the original talk itself has been done previously and uploaded, but it has always been this 2 years online thing, and then we didn't really have an interaction with the audience. This time around, we are doing the talk again, but it's very nice to actually see all of you today physically. So now I'm going to introduce to you the major in food science and technology. Our department not only manages the first major in FST, we also manage the second major in food science, second major in nutrition, and also the minor in nutrition. Okay, so just a very brief explanation of what food means to us. Okay, it's not really just something that is what we think about for lunch, dinner, breakfast. We think about it all the time. More because we are interested in the science behind food. Food itself, food science and technology, is actually a very multidisciplinary subject, because we need to understand the chemistry of food, microbiology, consumer perception, engineering, to name a few, okay, of these things related to food, so that we can eventually understand the food's properties, its composition, and how it actually affects us in the body. Maybe to some extent, you would think that for the food industry, it's all about making money, making tasty food so that we will spend more money and then buy these things and so on. It is actually not that, because eventually the main point of food industry is really to try to provide food, accessible food that is safe, nutritious, and sustainable to everyone around the world. And I hope that you would want to consider joining us in this pursuit, because eventually our main aim is not to make money. Okay, it really is that we want to provide food that's safe. Okay, find ways to preserve the food so that we can actually transport this food for long distances to send to people around the world for them to consume and so on. So make it safe. And the way we want to do it, we want to make it sustainable. If we are unable to extend the shelf life of food, the food will go to waste. So it's going to be unsustainable. We use technology to try to extend the shelf life so that we do not waste really a lot of this food in the long run. Of course, eventually, it's not just about more fat, more sugar, more salt. Okay, we want to find ways to actually make food nutritious. This really is not just the demands from the consumers. If you look at many big industry food companies out there, their goal now is really to make food that's nutritious, that's sustainable, for the to try to address many problems in the world, chronic diseases, and also food wastage, how to feed the world in the next 20 years, 30 years, and so on. Okay, so where do our graduates work? Okay, our graduates work across the food supply chain. These are some of the different roles that our graduates do within the food industry. When you talk about food industry, you can roughly separate them into maybe 4 parts. The first part is really working with the ingredients, the raw produce, where we talk about post-harvest processing and so on. In our context, we will also think about it in the context of urban farming. Okay, and then after that, once you get this raw produce, what are you going to do with it? What is the products that you are making? So this is manufacturing, food engineering, and food processing. After that, put it onto supermarket shelf, put it onto farmers market, and whichever context that we want to sell our products in. This is related to consumer studies. It's also related to new product development. This is a very integral part of the food industry. If you just stand in the ice cream section, okay, there are so many different types of flavor, so many different types of brands, but people are still buying it because new product development, coming out of new products, new flavors, new types of food is actually important in terms of meeting the demands of the consumers. Okay, ultimately, we also have students within the healthcare industry. They are in nutrition, they are in pharmaceuticals, and so on. We also have students in the government sector, different government sectors. For example, Singapore Food Agency, HPB, NEA, HSA also employ our students because they are involved in policy making, they're involved in regulation, involved in different aspects of things related to sustainability, safety, and health. Of course, a lot of our students are also involved in the agri and food tech ecosystem within Singapore. Actually, in Asia, okay, and around the world, Singapore is considered the food tech valley in Asia, where we have actually a lot of investors, a lot of companies that come here or grown from here that deals with agri-tech and that deals with food tech and so on. So we actually have quite a bit of our students either working inside here in this sector, or they are founders of these startup companies on their own. We also have professors that actually are founders of some of these companies. Okay, so this is actually something to give you an idea what food science and technology students actually do, okay, in the industry. Our program is the oldest one in Singapore in terms of a degree in food science and technology. We have been around for about 23 years. It's in the context of a first major in food science and technology, and now we actually also offer second major in food science and also in nutrition and so on, because of the demand for food science and also the demand for nutrition. Overall, we have about 230 undergrads at any single time, because year 1 to year 4, 230 undergrads. We also have a postgrad program. So we have about 200 students that are either doing their master's or their PhD within our department. And throughout the years, we have about 1,000 over alumni that are either in food science industry or in related industry, and they are either in Singapore or also working around the world in the food industry. So here's my colleagues. Some of them you might actually see outside at the booth. So you're all welcome to talk to them because we are quite friendly people. Okay. In food science in our department, we have 11 full-time academic staff. We are actually people that specialize in different aspects of food science. For me, I specialize in nutrition, so here is me. Okay, and then later when you go out, you will see that at the booth you will see Prof. Zhou. Prof. Zhou, he is the head of department, so he heads our department. He leads our department. Okay, he leads our department. Don't tell him that. Right? He leads our department, and then he is he's an expert in food engineering and so on. Of course, we have colleagues that do food microbiology. Some of the colleagues work with good microbes, so they do fermentation. So some of these colleagues work with the bad microbes, so they work with microbes that give you food poisoning. So you have to be very careful who you shake your hands with and so on. Okay. There is actually a whole wide range of research that a lot of these colleagues do within the food science department. At the same time, students are also involved in this throughout. There's various opportunities for you to be involved, either as an undergraduate or also when just before you graduate in your honors project. You might actually see some of us appearing once in a while on different topics in the news or on TV, and sometimes even on also professional news agencies where they actually carry news that is specific for food scientists and technologies and so on. So this is really just a overview of some of the research that we actually do. One important thing I want to emphasize is that although we have 11 academic staff that comes in and actually teach students full-time, we also have 9 industry academic profs. What they do really is that they don't come in and give one seminar lecture and then they're done. These profs here, they hold middle to leadership positions within industry. They actually come in to teach specific modules. What they do really is that they are involved in designing the content, they are involved in designing the assessments and so on. What we believe it's important is that we need the industry perspective in our education with our students. So that's why having industry people that are in the industry at this time and then getting them to come in to give their perspective to the students actually is very valuable and important. So here eventually you will see that we have 20 full-time academic staff that really come in to teach full modules, and then we have over 20 FST modules for students to choose from. Many of these are in different aspects like food safety, new product development, nutrition, food processing, and so on. You have a QR code here that you can scan, then it will bring you to all the modules, the list for you to have a view of what's available. Okay, so now that I've introduced FST, okay, I want to explain a bit about how does a student that goes to FST, how does that fit into the bigger picture of CHS? Okay, just a very quick revision here. If you look at CHS, okay, it is tailored in a way that it allows students to do a few things at the same time. Okay, meaning that they have to finish really the core curriculum, correct? So there's one part of it that is the core curriculum, and then they will have to finish a section that is their major. So in our context, it's FST. Core curriculum is here, more or less. If you look at your whole 4 years as a whole pie or a donut, okay, 1/3 of the donut, okay, will be your core curriculum, okay, and then 1/3 will be your first major, okay. The flexibility comes in when you are left with that 1/3. It depends on what you want, okay. Either you want to become versatile, you can use this as unrestricted, you can take many modules, or you can use this as a chance to do a second major, and then you become an integrator. Otherwise, you can do further modules that is related to FST. Okay. That's related to FST, okay, which makes you a specialist. Okay, I don't know whether I'm blocking the QR code. Okay, I will talk about this in a little bit more details in the next few slides. Okay, so the first idea, I want to be a versatilist, or someone that I'm open to all sorts of experiences out there. I want to learn as much as possible on many different aspects so that I have a broader view of many things. This could be someone that will then use this unrestricted section to do perhaps many modules, or actually do 1 minor or 2 minors. Okay, here are actually some of the lists of the different types of minors that's available across the university. And here are also some of the lists of minors that we have students previously that are taking. So some of our FST students do take minor in entrepreneurship, minor in public health, and we also have the minor in nutrition that is administered within our department. So this is something for you to think about. Another idea is to think about it in terms of being an integrator. Okay, I want to know a bit more about another subject and then see what is the synergy I can get from integrating both that subject together with that of my FST. If you actually look at what's available under CHS, okay, the types of second major that's available, we have not just science, but also second majors that's available under FASS. So either under Asian studies, here are some examples, or social sciences. Okay, these are examples, but there's a little bit of differences here when depending on which type of second major you go for. In this case here, if your second major, you choose something that's contrasting. When I say contrasting, what I really mean is really that module, that second major has to come from this part of subjects under FASS, so Asian studies or social science and so on. Okay, and then what you get is a double degree. Okay, a double degree of Bachelors of Science and Bachelors of Arts, or Bachelors of Social Science, depending on which of this you take. So one example would be a double degree in FST and psychology. Okay, but this is one example. Another way is that some students really would think that, okay, FST is my first major. I would want to do a second major in life science or second major in data science. What you get there is that you will actually get a double major, okay, and then this double major is a Bachelor's of Science in FST and data science. So this is essentially a double major, not a double degree. So this is one aspect of how you can use your space within the CHS structure. Okay, third one is the one where we get our deep specialists, someone that wants to learn a bit more into food science. They will then use this space, okay, to do more FST modules. So what you get eventually is an FST major with specialization in FST research and innovation. Is that something that appeals to you? Because eventually these students, if they are specialized in aspects of food science and technology, there is actually quite a bit of industry out there, especially even though in the food industry, that we do have a lot of demand for people that works on research and development. Okay, the industry has the demand for that. And at the same time, we also have students that their research eventually would develop eventually into a startup later on. So here are actually examples. Some of these two are my colleagues, professors that actually spin off their company. This is our alumni Berlin. Okay, many of these are actually our students who actually eventually start off a company from there. Okay, so these are things for you to consider if you want to do a first major in food science and technology, and the types of possibilities you can tap on in the context of CHS. But I want to tell you even more what experience at NUS can offer you. So here I've mentioned really about all the competency building. Okay, when you come to NUS, when you join us at FST, this is how we are going to train you. We are going to give you foundation training, skills building, apply these skills and learning, okay, and then eventually also give you some advanced knowledge. But this is not just everything that we offer within NUS. In NUS, there is also many other things that we offer that will actually help you with your exposure to the world, skills development in terms of internship opportunities, overseas exposure in terms of student exchange, research opportunities across your year 1 to 4, and also overall holistic training, holistic education in the context of student activities. Ultimately, we also would try to prepare you for your career forward, because we also have a whole string of initiatives where we will try to build your resume, try to build your interview skills and so on, to prepare you for the future. Okay, so this is really the whole picture of what NUS FST experience under CHS will bring you. These are examples of previous students in terms of where they are going overseas, all over the place. So you see that around the world, these are students that spend either a semester or a summer. A summer is maybe about 3 months. A semester can be 3 to 4 months or even up to 6 months, depending on how long they want to stay there. Okay. Here are also some of the very top food science and technology universities around the world. We do send them over there on student exchange, and then we also have students from there coming to take modules with us. So this is what we call student exchange. We exchange students, then our students go there and so on. Okay, I only have 5 minutes left. Okay, so this is the overseas experience part. These are the internship experience part. We have partners on different sectors in the food industry. Your big food companies, your flavor companies. We also have partners overseas. So in terms of internship opportunities, our collaborations with many companies have been there for about 20 years. We've been around for 23 years, and then we started sending students out at 20 years ago. We have always been working with them. So they do actually know the quality and the type of training our students have before they say, okay, I want to continue taking and working with you guys. Okay, so here are the different types of companies our students spend internships on, their time on internships on. This one is really just an example of one of the students in terms of what she does under this whole experience. She did student activities, and then she did internship under SFA, did a summer exchange at Cornell, and then in year 4, she did a research project on growing meat on a Petri dish. So now she's actually a A-star research assistant under A-star that continues to learn how to grow meat on a Petri dish. Okay. Last few slides already. So here it is really just an example of where our alumni is. I say we have a lot of alumni rights, right? So these are examples of where they are. They can continue to work in the food industry, but we also have some that move on to go into the nutritional industry, healthcare industry, some that went into the business development part and so on. Okay, here is a list of or summary of why the FSC program at NUS is something that you should consider because of the many different things that I've just mentioned. So I'll leave it because I have 3 minutes left on that. And then ultimately, we also have a lot of support from the industry because we have quite a bit of donated bursaries and scholarships. So here is the QR. I'll try not to block this. So here's the QR code. Okay, and then you can scan that, and then there's a list of information there for you to take a look. This is the slide maybe that you guys are waiting for. Okay, but so in this slide here is basically some of the admissions requirement that is required for admissions into food science and technology. Let me explain it a little bit. So that's why I need more time for this. FST as a first major, it's a direct admissions. What it means basically is that students have to choose FST as a first major in their application. So some of the students here, I think you would have received the offer already. Okay, and then, correct or not? So how they, okay. Yeah, so if you have received the offer already, you have to click accept. yeah. Okay. No need to think already. Or you know, if you still have doubts, please come and talk to me. I will try to clarify your doubts. Okay. But what about the others that do not have the opportunity to do it in the first round? You can still come into CHS. Okay, just the normal route into science under CHS. Okay, but in your first year of your CHS curriculum, do the gateway module FST 1101B. Okay, and then from there will be another selection to admit more students from that route. Okay, so that's why here we also have we only put in direct admissions. In this second one, okay, when you do 1101B as the gateway module, and then you're not under food science and technology first major, right? So you're just under the broad science group of students under CHS. Okay, when you do your 1101B, you you can then come in either as a FST first major, okay, or if you want to do a double major, you can also do a chemistry as a first major and then choose food science as the second major. So these are two options under this particular section when you come in from the CHS route, not the direct admissions route. Okay. But at the same time, if you do 1101B, okay, and after that you realize, okay, food science is okay, but then I would want to do other things and so on, you can still use that 1101B, okay, to do a minor in nutrition or a second major in nutrition. Okay, this one really doesn't matter. There's actually no quota for this. The nutrition second major, the nutrition as a minor has no quota. So as long as you do your 1101B, and then after that you can continue to take the modules that's relevant. So that's why here are different routes eventually to join us as part of food science and technology. In terms of the requirement, okay, basically you can come in with any combination of chemistry, biology, maths, further maths, physics, or computing. But for those people that do not have chemistry and or biology, you will still have to do the bridging module for chemistry and or biology. So these are some of the caveats that I want to mention also for students that are considering this particular admissions. Okay. Here is we also have our Instagram account. Okay, we are quite advanced. Okay, call us if you want. Okay, this is our phone number. We will try to answer any questions you have. You can email us. We are also outside, happy to answer questions up until 6 p.m. As long as there's questions, we are there to answer. Another thing to say before I end this also is that we have a tour of the FST lab in about now. Okay, so after I'm done with my presentation, okay, you will you can consider joining the lab tour, which will start soon. What you do is basically you can exit out and you take the stairs all the way up. The booth where the lab tour is going to be organized, and then they'll bring you over to our lab. So that's something else to consider after you're done with this. After you're done with this talk. Okay, thank you.
Right, so thank you so much, Dr. Liu, and we hope everyone has been able to learn more about the FSC program. We have now come to the end of the talk, but if you have any other questions, as she mentioned earlier, you can visit the department booth outside at the foyer area, and you can join their tour. So so we hope you have a great rest of your day here at the CHS Open House. Thank you so much.